I'm just a little out of breath because of working out, dancing.
Really?
No.
You got it better this time.
I did. I've been doing this workout routine. It's more of a dance routine. It was a little awkward for me in the beginning. It was.
Do you feel awkward not doing it?
Not as much. What truly helped me get better at it was letting go of the fear. And since I know you don't judge me,
no,
it's easier to
sometimes
just
I'll look back in the mirror and I want to laugh, but it's not because I'm judging you. You know when we dance, it's just I feel like I'm being silly, kind of
right.
and I want to laugh with you, but then I'm like, he's gonna think I'm laughing at him, but I'm not.
I've always wanted to be good at dancing.
Yeah.
I've always admired guys or girls that know how to dance, but more so guys. If a guy knows how to dance, to me, I admire it. Wow. I wish I could dance.
I don't think it's hard, especially if there's a routine.
You were also in dance for how long?
I know, but just cooking, if there's a recipe, you can add a stick of butter or whatever.
But I think for me, it's some of the movements are
feel awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the dance is a little feminine, so that's probably part of it.
Right, but I shouldn't be scared to try the movement and actually be good at it, because I can still add my own.
Yeah, definitely.
I've seen guys that do routines along with girls, and they're just they're doing all types of stuff.
Yeah, I think it's part of it. You have to get out of your head and just enjoy it.
I agree. That's exactly what has helped me get better at it. Today, in the certain spots where I did follow along exactly, was because I had let go of that fear. Yeah. Which was always present. Today was maybe third time, fourth time that we've done it?
Third or fourth, yeah.
I've been giving you the worst. Now you wanna stay the night. Pity how you work hard for me, but forgetting how to talk.
Welcome to today's video. My name is Zeus or Daz, and I'm here with...
I'm Morgan.
Today, we're going to share with you our birth story. Should we start from the beginning? Just a little recap of how we met, what led to that.
Yeah, you can tell how
Perfect.
We met and whatever.
So I had known her for a very long time. I knew her mom. Her mom was my teacher. Your sister was in my grade. I guess I didn't know that you were sisters until later on, but I knew of you. We started talking. We went out on a date, kind of just went for a cruise. Mm-hmm. And
on 4th of July.
4th of July.
3rd of July, kind of.
And I'll go into much deeper detail in another video, but long story short, we talked for several weeks. We liked each other's vibe. We had very deep conversations from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. And we could obviously tell that on the major things, there were no deal breakers. I really liked you, and then we made it official. And from the point that we made it official, 1 month later, we were pregnant.
Yeah. The joke is, the very first day that we hung out, he asked me, do you want children? Which, that's a little wild to ask on the first date, but I guess, you knew what you wanted.
Yes.
And I said, someday. And when we told my dad the story, he said, oh, he must have thought you said on Sunday. So,
I did. I thought she said on Sunday. So I was I was ready for kids. So I'm kidding. No, but we were both on the same page, and we knew that we both wanted kids. We knew that if it were to happen, what would happen. We had those conversations. But then after that, our relationship was pretty new, and we started off with a blast. I wasn't scared at all. I was pretty excited, happy, and I think for me it became real once we went to our first doctor's appointment. Don't get me wrong, finding out was a crazy experience, just a blast of emotion. I was excited and happy, but when it became solidified was maybe the first ultrasound.
Yeah, the first ultrasound.
Actually seeing that made it
that was wild.
real. Yeah. So from that point moving forward, it was a roller coaster. I don't know. It was a roller coaster of different things. We had to figure different things out. Yeah. It was our first time for either one of us being parents.
Yes.
So this was all new and uncharted territory. Felt a little like scary in some points just because you don't know the actual outcome.
Yeah.
For me personally, I looked at your parents, I looked at my parents, and a lot of other parents out there. Most often, they start off like somewhere. They had to start somewhere. And then they grow and evolve and they withstand the test of time. And for me, that helped me move forward.
Put up with my moods.
You weren't bad. You weren't bad.
Okay.
Not at all.
So.
No, it was very chill. It was nice. I really enjoyed it. There's also a lot of different stories out there, but our story, I'm happy because some would say you guys have only known each other for 1 month. You have only dating for 1 month.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have any regrets. To me, it's all been.
Definitely not.
When we we watched the show Love is Blind. And it's just interesting because they probably dated longer in the show before they got married. And us, we went.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Recount it from your perspective.
Like dating part? I think you got it.
The birth story?
The birth story. So, like, for like the birth part of it. So I don't know if you guys know what a membrane sweep is. It's like a balloon, and they go in and they like sweep your membranes, and it's supposed to get things kick-started. So I had done that a week before I went into birth. This was a kickstart birth. It didn't work. So then the day that I went into labor, we had a doctor's appointment. They did the membrane sweep again, but I was really not confident that it was going to work. And so we also did the midwives brew cocktail, and you can watch our video on that too. But so that kick-started labor. So I drank the cocktail, and within like 15 minutes probably, I started contracting, and that was at 5 o'clock. What did you think when I told you that I was getting contractions?
Well, I was like, I didn't want to get my hopes up because we had tried it a week before.
The membrane
sweep.
Yeah.
And it was like, yes, sometimes this actually helps, but not necessarily on demand.
Yeah.
A week later, we went in again, and since the first one didn't work, I wasn't necessarily like expecting it to happen, but I knew that we were closer to our due date, which was on the 25th.
Yep.
And we were like the 23rd at that point still. I think it was the 23rd. So we knew we were pretty much at the finish line, but we didn't know if you were going to go over the due date.
I had a scheduled induction on the 26th.
Right.
So on the 23rd, we had the doctor's appointment, did the membrane sweep, and took the cocktail.
Right.
And we did all of these things because we wanted to prevent having to have the medical induction. But our doctor was kind of recommending the medical induction just because of how uncomfortable I was, and just there was a study done that showed babies that came on or before the due date had better
numbers,
better outcomes.
Yep. Yeah. The percentage of a healthy baby was quite a bit significantly higher.
Scores and things like that were better.
Right. But we wanted to keep it as natural as possible.
Yeah.
That last stretch of those last few days felt kind of eternal. Like, it just felt long. Just because you were uncomfortable, it kind of progressively kept getting more and more uncomfortable.
Yeah. I was working up to, like, the day that, basically, until I couldn't go to work because I had a baby. Like, I was going until I went into labor. I was going to work, so... Yeah, I was pretty uncomfortable going to work. I was ready to not go to work and be uncomfortable.
I mean, I was excited to meet the baby.
Definitely.
They sweep you, we go home, and how long was it until you started to feel kind of contractions? Was this...
I don't know that the sweep actually gave me any contractions. It maybe was a beautiful mixture between the two that did it. I don't know. But I think it was the cocktail that, like... ultimately did the major push. I had also already been dilated, so my body was ready, and he was ready. the baby was ready. But so I took the cocktail, started having contractions at like 5. I was worried that it was going to be false labor because it is a side effect of both the sweep and the cocktails having false labor. So I was nervous about that. So we didn't stop like walking, bouncing on the ball, doing different stretches and things like that. I was contracting, but they were not painful. They were very consistent. They were like 5 minutes apart or so. And I timed them on an app on my phone, which is really nice. And
do you remember the name of the app?
I have it on my phone still. It is called Contraction Timer.
Contraction Timer, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's like a little blue square with a baby on it. I still have all of the contractions from Zion's.
Oh, wow.
In there.
Wow.
I know, it's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So then they didn't start getting painful until close to 9. We were watching, what movie were we watching? I just tested you on this the other
I know
day.
you did. Was it The Grinch?
No.
1 second.
It was May.
Step Brothers?
No. We were watching, let me tell you.
Oh, I mean, I remember you telling me just recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, just tell me.
The Parent Trap.
The Parent Trap, and we didn't finish it.
We didn't.
We have not finished it.
So we were watching Parent Trap, and I said, they're getting more painful. Do you think we should go? And he said, yep. Like, we just knew when it was time to go. We had everything already all packed up.
Right.
So we grabbed the bags and called the hospital and let them know that we were on our way. We'd be there in like half an hour or so. What were you thinking?
I had faith that it was going to happen really soon. I wasn't sure exactly when, but I was hoping soon.
Yeah.
Just because I knew you were about to go through a traumatic experience. Maybe not traumatic, but just like, or maybe, yes,
Yeah.
you can only be the one to say that. But it was going to be, I didn't know what to expect. I've heard so many stories, but I knew that we're not everybody, so ours could be completely different. I wasn't sure what to expect. I didn't have expectations other than I wanted everything to go good.
Mm-hmm.
But I did have hope that it was going to happen soon.
Yeah.
And we got to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
So we got to the hospital. He pulled up and they already knew that we were coming. So the doors are locked at night. So we go up, you had to like pick up this phone and
Call him in.
say who you are or whatever. They let me in. I started filling out paperwork, and at this time I was really starting to get quite uncomfortable. I was like, they're really having me fill out this paperwork right now. I was a little annoyed, to be honest. And the lady was kind of cranky.
Yeah, she was.
She was. So, yeah, I was not very happy. I just wanted to get upstairs.
What did she say? Didn't you ask, can I use the bathroom?
What?
Or was this a different
It might
time?
have been a different time, but
Okay.
maybe. I said, I need to use the bathroom. She said, can you wait? And I was like, no.
You were pregnant.
I'm not going to wait.
Right.
I'm going to the bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just like, what? Because you were
waiting.
visibly pregnant.
Yes.
So that's why it was like, wait, what?
Yeah. Anyways, so he went, parked the car, came, and then he had to sit there and wait on the phone till the lady answered and buzzed him in, even though she well knew that you were with me.
Right.
But anyways,
Protocol.
whatever, I'm sure it's protocol, yes.
Yeah.
It's probably better, safer. They had us sit down and wait. Somebody from the labor and delivery came down and met us, and then they asked if I wanted to sit in a wheelchair.
Right.
And I was like, heck no, I'm not gonna have this labor stall. I'm walking up there. And so we made our walk up to the labor and delivery, and they put us in like, is it triage?
Yeah, that's what they called it. I think.
I can't
in
remember.
Like a place before you.
Yeah, so you go in one area first, and they decide if you are really truly in active labor, if they're gonna let you stay, like book you or whatever. I was a little nervous that they were gonna like say no, because when they got there, I was barely, I had been 3 centimeters dilated for a while, and I was only like 3.5, and I had been laboring at home from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for about 4 hours. I was nervous that they were gonna say no.
Like, not ready.
Go back home and wait a little bit longer. Yes. And I was like in pain.
Right.
So they put the thing on my belly to watch the contractions. They checked how dilated I was, and then they left for a while and kind of were just monitoring, seeing what my body would do. You were pretty tired, and the room wasn't very comfortable for you, I don't think.
And that one?
Yeah,
the first
that
one?
first one.
I think it was just like a chair,
Yeah.
or like, yeah, it was a very small room.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like mainly a waiting area for
Yeah.
potentially pregnant women.
Yeah. Not the coziest.
I knew that I was like, please be ready, like,
Yeah.
please, like, let it happen. Because I did not want to go home and then have to come back later in the middle of the night, because it was, what, a 15-minute drive or so?
Probably at least 15-minute drive. Maybe at night. And we did come in at night. My pain was like slowly getting more and more. I started crying because I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do. There's nothing you could do in that moment. I'm like,
you were quite in pain.
I can't sit down. Like, yeah. Then the nurse or the midwife or whoever it was came in, and that's right when I started crying. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. We are gonna keep you, and that was like a weight of relief.
Yes.
And that was
finally
probably close to like 11
Yeah.
or so, right?
Yep. We were there for a while.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to check, and then they had to time it over a certain period of time to see if you had progressed.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know if it was an hour or something like that.
Something like that.
They had to time it, and
right. By the
then
time
they
we
would
got
gauge
up
it.
there, and
But then they finally said yes,
yeah,
and it was a sigh of relief. Like,
Yeah.
okay, finally, like, okay, sounds good. We're there. I was pretty happy at that point.
So they moved us from this like waiting area room up to labor and delivery, and this room was really nice. It was really big. It had like a pull-out couch thing. It had the like jacuzzi tub. So our plan was really try to go as long as I could without pain medication or anything like that. I knew I didn't want intravenous drugs, and I wasn't sure about the epidural. If I could handle it, I was going to try to do it naturally. You were a little nervous about the epidural just because you didn't want me to have lasting like back pain and things like that.
Right.
So I had that in the back of my mind that he wasn't the hugest fan of the epidural for my good, which was his sweet. Yeah.
Because I had heard a lot of stories where they just had lasting pain in the back in the same spot where they had gotten injected. I don't want you to have like lasting damage from something that's meant to be memorable and beautiful.
Yeah.
So for that reason, that was my fear. Yeah. But I was all for it as long as, I appreciate you for hearing out my concern.
So we decided that we were gonna, or I was gonna, go as long as I possibly could without getting the epidural. At this point, I could not lay down. My back hurt so bad. Like, I must have been in back labor, I think is what they call it. I could not sit, and the nurse wanted me to lay down in the bed so she could have the monitor on my belly. But I was like, no, sister. Like, I'm not laying down.
Right. You couldn't.
I'm not laying down.
Right.
And at that point, like, you don't care.
Yeah.
Like, manners gotta go out the window.
Understandably.
Yeah. I was explaining the pain to him, and it's like, to put into words is I want to punch somebody. Like, and I'm not a violent person. I just wanted to like
something. Release it.
Yeah.
With aggression.
Yeah. Like, I was swearing, I was making all sorts of noises. I didn't expect me to do that. Just like your body just like takes over and it does however your body handles the pain.
The pain is probably too much more intense than any feelings you have about what do I sound like?
No, I did not care. I went in the bath. The bath honestly wasn't that helpful because my back hurt so bad that like laying at all it wasn't it for me. So I had to stand, and she would like try to get measurements every so often, I think, for like my contractions and stuff, because the belt wouldn't work perfectly while I was standing. And then at some point, you know how they always say, well, maybe you don't know, but they say that your water breaking is nothing like the movies. Like, it doesn't just explode and yeah, it does. In my case, it did. Like, I
Oh,
was
yeah, it
standing
did.
at the bed, and all of a sudden, it was like, it sounded and felt like a water balloon popped. Like, it was like, pop. And I knew right away. I was like, my water broke. And then it just, like, it was all over the floor. And she's like, okay, let's sit you down. And at this point, I was like, okay, I guess I will lay down. I think she wanted to check me, or no, they didn't check me then. They didn't check me often.
After that?
I don't think.
I think they were just preparing at that point.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, we'll call the doctor.
Maybe they checked. I can't remember exactly. It kind of is all a blur.
It kind of is. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
because of how intense the pain is. Like, I don't remember the faces of the nurse or the doctor or anything like that. Like, I don't have any recollection of what they looked like because I was so in my own, like, world getting through this. And then, so I got in the bed after after my water broke, then it got even, like, more painful, like, so painful. I was like, I can't handle this. I really want the epidural. And I looked at him and I was like, I need you to get on my team. I am in pain so bad. I need the epidural.
And I was like, I mean, you don't need my approval, but I appreciated it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I felt like I did, kind of. I mean, like, it is your baby too. Like, I respect, like, yes, I am going through this, but it is also, like, your story as well.
yeah, give me the option to have a say.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you for that.
Yeah.
But for me, I was on your team the whole time.
Yeah, and that's what you said. You're like,
Yeah.
I am on your team.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to get an epidural.
So, yeah.
And then I let the nurse know that I wanted the epidural. They were in there within probably, I don't even know, time was a blur. Pretty quick.
Yeah.
To give me the epidural. He gave me the epidural. The hard thing about it is, honestly, I didn't feel the pain at all of the epidural at all.
Wow.
Like, I did not feel a needle going in my back.
Because of everything.
Because of how bad my contractions hurt. They just said, oh, stay still. And that's all I was focusing on. Stay still. And this effing hurts.
Jeez.
Not the needle, the contractions. Like, it did not hurt. The epidural.
That is crazy.
At all.
And it's supposed to be.
I don't know.
Or I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it's a big needle going into your back.
Yeah. That was crazy to experience.
Yeah.
I saw how big the needle was.
Yeah.
And just, it was like a whole different perspective. Just, I wasn't in any pain, so I was just observing everything that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I felt guilty.
Did you?
Yeah, because I'm the one who got you pregnant. I got you in this place.
Mm-hmm.
But it was more of a place of like, I was willing to do whatever you needed at any point.
So the guy came in, and this guy was apparently known for having, like, super powerful epidurals. I remember that. And, like, what does that even mean? Well, it means that you don't feel your legs for, like, 24 hours.
Right.
Anyway, so pretty immediately, I had no feeling in my legs. But I still felt the contractions for quite a while, which tells me that they were
Pretty strong.
very strong. They said, okay, you can take a rest. You guys can go try to get some rest before the baby comes. The pain was, like, slowly starting to get less. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll shut my eyes. And then right before that, she was like, I'm just going to check you one more time. And she's like, oh,
That's right.
you're ready to go. And this was like 10, 15 minutes after I'd gotten the epidural.
Right.
So I was like, if I would have known how close I was, I could have done it. But I'm happy for how it played out. And that's what was meant to be.
It was very close, but
Yeah.
yeah, you stuck it out to the very end.
Yes. The nurse had me do she let the doctor know, or had somebody let the doctor know. I don't know. I don't really remember. But she had me do some practice pushes, and she told me, stop pushing.
After
It was, like, pretty quick.
like the second push.
Something like that.
Yeah. And you were going to go into your third push.
Uh-huh.
And that's when she said, stop.
Don't push.
Oh, because
We gotta get the doctor in here.
Yeah. And, like, very shortly after that.
So the doctor came in. I pushed 4 contractions.
Total.
Yeah. And so that was probably 5 minutes apart, 15, 20 minutes maybe of pushing.
Total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like, wow, you're making this look so easy. I was like, this is the easiest part so far.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel it didn't hurt anymore. So that is a blessing that I didn't feel like the ring of fire or whatever they call it. So yeah, and then he made his way into the world at 3:15
in the morning.
Yeah.
A lot of people would say, oh, it was like a burst of, immediately as soon as I saw them come out, it was a burst of, my life changed and my world changed,
Yeah.
like all types of stuff. For me personally, it was kind of an outer body
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. And it might be like bad to say, but we both talked about this, and I'm sure like other people have felt this way, and so you don't have to feel like ashamed about it. But like obviously we loved him so much right away, but like it wasn't an overwhelming like I still didn't know him. Like he had been there and he was out, and I loved him, and I was so happy he was there, and he was beautiful, and I felt all those things, but like it wasn't like how people say like
it was immense, like
yeah,
immediately. I don't know, I've heard a lot of people that are like that.
Everybody says that, every single person.
Maybe there's something wrong with us.
Maybe, or maybe we're just honest about it. Like I loved him so much, don't get me wrong, like
of course,
but the way I love him now is like
completely
so much more than I loved him in that moment.
In retrospect, I'm able to tell the difference. Like, yes, of course, I would do anything for him immediately.
Yes.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't know him yet.
Yeah.
That's only natural that love developed.
Yeah. Who knows if we'll put that in there or not, but... But,
one day he watches it.
Yeah.
No, we didn't love him.
No.
Until later on.
We loved him very, very much.
Until after he wouldn't stop crying.
No,
Good.
Like, I didn't want him out of my sight. Like, that instinctual bond love, it was definitely there.
Maybe tell him about your
oh, yeah.
sweater.
So he surprised me with this sweatshirt. And a girl from my hometown.
I'll leave a link in case you're interested.
She made it for us. So it has established in 2023 because that's when Zion was born.
Yes.
This is the onesie that he came home in. This is it says New Gen onesie, which is his dad's business. This was a onesie that we just put him in a lot, we really liked. And then this was his Mike Wazowski Halloween costume. And so, yeah.
It's nice.
We thought we'd, rather than just putting them in a box and whatever, we'd put them on display. And then also, on my arm it says his name.
I like it when you're looking like that. Don't like it when you shit, chat shit. I like it when you're looking like that. Oh, shy, try fun, don't mind my reaction. I like it when you